Center Circle now to kick off this Thursday edition of the SportsMax Zone. There is still uncertainty around where Cavalier's home leg of their CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16 tie against Lionel Messi's Inter Miami will be played. The National Stadium in Kingston is the preferred venue with a capacity of over 30,000. But with repairs set to be done to the track, there has been no concrete word on its availability for the March 13 clash. Reports have also been circulating that the match could be held at Sabina Park. Well, here to shed the much-needed light on the situation, Chairman of Cavalier Football Club, Ryan Foster, who joins us on the phone. Good afternoon, Ryan. I'm so excited to talk to you this afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Good afternoon, everyone.
Ryan, as you know, the question on everybody's lips, where will the match be held? Do you have any information with regards to that question for me?
Well, the definitive answer now as it stands, as of today, is the National Stadium. We would have met with CONCACAF officials as well as the IPL officials on Tuesday, looking at the pitch and what the recovery plan would be to get the pitch ready for March 13th. I think as it stands now, CONCACAF is satisfied based on the recovery plan submitted by IPL and Major Brown and his team, that with the remedial work done today and yesterday, and with the further remedial work to be done between now and March 13th, that they have guaranteed us that the National Stadium field will be ready for the game.
Okay, well, that's some good news because, everybody, once they hear that Cavalier will be going up against Lionel Messi's Inter Miami, the interest in the match, of course, it had doubled and tripled, and now everybody needs answers, right? You speak about that, but are you satisfied with the information that you received when it comes to the timeline? Because, our team here at SportsMax, they have been, going down to the National Stadium to see if the work has been done and all of that. And the last thing we knew is that work was set to start on Friday. So you, Ryan, do you think in your own mind that this can be done in time?
Well, a couple of things. The work for the field would have started before. I think the work for the track is what would have not necessarily have commenced as yet. But in terms of the work for the pitch, work has started and would have started on our last visit on Tuesday. We actually do have another visit tomorrow to look at the recovery work that they would have done in terms of taking grass from their nursery to patch the pitch in terms of the much affected areas on the surface. The recovery plan that was submitted to CONCACAF and us, I believe, with the commitment from the Minister of Sport as well as the IPL dignitaries, I do believe that there is a vast interest to ensure that the pitch is ready. However, CONCACAF has asked us and the IPL to ensure that we provide every 3 days an update, pictorial update in terms of the status and the state of the pitch to ensure that it is ready.
Yeah.
Inter Miami will also be here next week to also inspect the pitch to ensure that it is at a standard as at March 3rd or 4th to ensure that they are also satisfied that the pitch will be ready for the game. But as it stands now, I believe from our side, we do see an interest from IPL and the Ministry of Sport to ensure that the pitch is ready for that game on March 13th. I've heard talks about Sabina Park, etc., but the truth of the matter is the stadium is our only option as it stands right now, because Sabina Park, the capacity and the requirements of CONCACAF would not necessarily meet all the requirements of CONCACAF to keep such a game of this magnitude.
Okay, Ryan, well, really good that you could clarify that for us because, the he say and she say won't work, especially when it's a match of this magnitude. Now, as chairman of Cavalier, how excited are you and the team to, of course, go up against Inter Miami? One, I'm thinking about the quality of football, the quality of opposition that the team will be up against. And, just having somebody that a lot of us who really understand the sport and love the sport admires.
Yes, I think not just as chairman of Cavalier, I think as a Jamaican fan and a lover of football, I think we as a club, and I am very excited that we could bring one of the greatest footballers and his team to the country. I think it is good for brand Jamaica. It is good for football in the Caribbean. It's also very good for the Jamaica Premier League and to look at Cavaliers as a seeded team, actually. So we would have had a direct pathway into the round of 16. And funny enough, Inter Miami had to qualify via 2 games to play Cavaliers. I think we take the game very serious. But what we have said to our players is to enjoy football. And we have always done that, especially given our approach to football by using youth players within our ranks and then groom them and grow them for such a stage. I think we will definitively state that Cavaliers will not just be starstruck, because it's not just Messi. You're looking at Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and all of those other international players that are on the Inter Miami team that I think are of quality, that we will not take the opposition light, of course, but we will also take the game very serious. But we said, while taking the game serious, enjoy football and showcase that brand Jamaica and our football is on the right path.
Yeah, Ryan, let me take you back a little bit here, because you spoke specifically to the field and the work that has been done with the field and the requirements on the part of CONCACAF in terms of the 3-day updates going forward. But the fact still remains that there should be work going on at the same time on the track. Let us into those discussions with CONCACAF, the Independence Park Limited, IPL, and the government. I suspect the Minister of Sport, Olivia Bamsey-Grange, as it relates to the assurances that the work being done on the track will not impact negatively or in any way the opportunity to play the game.
Coming out of the meeting that we would have had yesterday, Ricardo, Major Brown and his team did guarantee us that the work on the pitch, on the track, will not impede the start date date and time of the game on March 13th. In fact, they are trying to do whatever work and come out of the space for the track up to March 11th, because in terms of CONCACAF regulations for the warm-up, Inter Miami is entitled to match day -1 in terms of getting access to the stadium and the facilities to train up to March 13th. So we would have to have the space at some level of readiness by March 11th, thereabout, to ensure that both Cavaliers and Inter Miami would be able to train on the stadium field before the game on March 13th. So what will happen is that CONCACAF will be here as well next week, and IPL is working assiduously to ensure that the work on the track does not impede the work on the pitch, and that the work on the track will be, if not complete, or a state that will not impede the start date of the game, start date and time of the game on March 13th.
Yeah, that is some very interesting information that you've given us there. Ryan, you also mentioned that Inter Miami will be visiting next week, and of course to look at the facilities, to look at the pitch, to ensure that it is up to the standard that they would like it to be. Can you say whether this is a normal occurrence for Inter Miami or football clubs generally when they travel to play these types of matches, or do you suspect this is happening because of a very special player in the Inter Miami setup?
Well, Ricardo, I can't speak specifically to Inter Miami protocol surrounding that special player, but what I can say is though that our very own Rudolph Speed would have traveled and is now en route back to Jamaica, having looked at the facilities of the Inter Miami Stadium, having attended the game and looked at the training facilities that we would have indicated to them that we would want upon our arrival on Monday, because the game is on the first leg is on next week, Thursday. So in terms of whether it is standard, yes, most in games of this nature are around a 16 game. Very serious teams would want to see the pitch, the condition, not just whether the condition is match ready, but in terms of the surface, what should we expect, the grass requirements, etc. So yes, we do assess those things, especially, as I said, clubs that take these competitions serious, to ensure. So even I, in the Manning Cup competition, would have looked at fields and gone ahead to assess fields, even at that local level of football. I think Inter Miami would also want to look at not just the field, but the facilities to ensure the security and safety of their players, especially the special one.
Yeah, and I'm very happy that you went there, because that was going to be my next question as it relates to security, which is a significant issue in the global world and in global sport, but will be more of an issue, as you just pointed out, given the quality of players in the Inter Miami setup, and that will be here in Jamaica. Are you putting in additional security resources for the match on the 13th? And how far ahead is the Cavalier organization in the planning of the security protocol for this match, and especially given that a capacity crowd is very much expected for this game?
A couple of things, Ricardo. We would have already met with the police. We would have already, the security plan would have already been submitted to the local organizing committee. We have already approached 2 private security companies that will provide additional security at the venue. We have also engaged the government as well in terms of the police high command to provide additional security upon the request of Inter Miami. While in Jamaica, of course, while en route from stadium to their respective accommodation, while at the venue, etc. So they themselves have their own respective security protocols that they would have asked us to take special consideration to, and they, of course, will pay for those costs to ensure that their security is priority. And it's no different, Ricardo, wearing another hat in the Olympic movement when you go to certain venues and locations. For example, when I went to the CAC games in Colombia, there was actual armed guards, police, etc. at the hotel for the presidents and secretary generals and high dignitaries and team officials at their respective accommodations. So we have taken that into consideration, and I've gone ahead and I've already engaged the police, and we're already in discussions. We will have over 300 personnel in place between private security and police on the day in question.
Yeah, and in terms of CONCACAF, have you sent them the security protocol? Have they requested any additional security on your part, and are they happy with what has been submitted, if indeed you've already submitted to CONCACAF?
They would have already asked, and we would have already met. In terms of an exact submission, no. But in terms of an exact update on it, yes. In terms of what it is that we're doing. But those will be finalized next week as well, because they will be coming, as I said, to assess the venue and what we'll have in place along with the private and the police high command to ensure that we have a very safe event inside and, of course, outside. And wherever recommendations are needed, are given, especially with some of the instances in the past in terms of breaking into cars, vehicles, etc., we'll be looking at that as well to ensure that our patrons are actually safe while watching the game.
Yeah, sounds very good. The other issue that I want to take up quickly before we run out of time is the issue of ticket sales. I saw yesterday morning, I think it was, a report coming through that tickets had been sold out. I suspect that is not the case, but can you give us an update on how ticket sales are going and how close to sold out you are at this stage?
What was sold out was the early bird tickets.
Oh.
So those that went on before was about 10,000 of them would have gone on what we consider the early bird before that confirmation that it was Inter Miami. So those were the ones that Caribtix would have indicated were sold out. In terms of the others that have gone on now, I think in terms of the total amount of tickets, we are about 70% already, and I think we will be sold out on or before next week.
All right, sounds good. Ryan Foster, we wish you all the very best. Hopefully we'll be chatting again in the build-up to the game on the 13th, and we wish Cavalier all the very best traveling to Florida next week for the first leg. We hope that you can, come up with a win or a draw. Give the big man incentive to ensure that he comes to Kingston. And by the way, just one favor, Ryan. Can you book an interview with Mr. Messi on the SportsMax Zone for when he gets here?
We will try. We will try, but we will definitely be receiving him on the day that the team arrive, and the Ministry of Sport, etc., will receive him officially from the airport. So that's also an opportunity for you to see him and to interview him. That I'll share with you, Ricardo, at the time and all of that, so you guys could be present to get that interview. One thing I will say, though, to Jamaicans, come out and enjoy the game, but please, as Jamaicans, wear your black and white, wear your Cavalier shirt.
Good one, Ryan, good one.
Ryan, I promise you, you're going to see a lot of Argentina shirts in that stadium.
Yes. Even into Miami.
Yes.
Let's see how it goes,
guys,
Ryan.
take care.
Thanks very much. Appreciate you being candid, and we look forward to chatting again. Mariah, quickly, just before we have to rush in the break, I know Ryan said a lot of things and revealed a lot of things. You know which one jumped out to me the most?
The track?
Yes.
I know.
Is when he said the track should be ready or
saw you took
close
up your
to
pen.
being ready by the 11th. Because, they have to get training time in. So that is very, very interesting news. I was told, though, by a source that the heavy lifting for the track was to be completed by the 10th of March. So it is very much in line that whatever work they will have to do on the track post the game on the 13th will be minimal. So let's see how it goes. Work is supposed to start tomorrow, Friday. And Cavalier, they seem pretty confident that they will get the National Stadium for the big Messi clash, Inter Miami clash on the 13th of March. Let's go to a break. We'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.